Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to take a look at Aries ascendant and the predictions for the month of October 2025. Now for you, the ascendant lord Mars is going to be in the 7th house of marriage and business partnerships throughout the month of October. Mars in the 7th house as a ruler of the 8th house that denotes crisis and transformation is going to bring intensity and potential conflicts in the marital relationships. In the middle part of the October, the conjunction of Mars and Mercury is going to heighten the communication but is also going to introduce disputes or misunderstandings because Mercury happens to be the ruler of the 6th house, and 6th house signifies conflicts, and the 8th house adds hidden tensions or power struggles. So you can expect passionate but challenging interactions with your spouse with a risk of arguments over trust or control, especially during the middle of the month. Since this house also rules over the business, Mars and Mercury's conjunction here suggests intense negotiations or disputes with your business partners. Mars' 8th house rulership may involve disagreement over shared resources or financial matters, while Mercury's 6th house influence adds the risk of legal or contractual issues. Diplomacy is going to be very essential to avoid partnership breakdowns for all the Aries ascendant people. Jupiter till 17th of October is going to transit through the third house of communication skills, writing or short-term projects, and is going to be influenced by its ninth house rulership. Positive interactions with siblings or colleagues are likely, possibly involving education or travel related opportunities. The aspect of Jupiter to the 7th house is going to support single people to get married in the first half of October. Since Jupiter is going to aspect its own house, it will strongly favor high education, research, or spiritual studies. This will be an ideal time for academic pursuits or publishing. The aspect to the 11th house suggests financial or social gains through networking, communication, or educational ventures. After October of 17th, Jupiter will transit into its exalted sign of Cancer in the 4th house, and Jupiter in the 4th house is going to bring growth and stability to domestic life. You can expect improvement in home environment or positive interactions with your mother in the next 3 months. You may also get an opportunity to complete transactions related to property. The fifth aspect of Jupiter onto the 8th house may involve changes in the shared resources or emotional transformation tied to the family dynamics. It is also going to aspect the 10th house of profession and will enhance career stability, particularly in the domains that are related to real estate, education, or caregiving. Jupiter will also aspect its own sign in the 12th house where Saturn is already posited, and it will encourage spiritual growth, but at the same time it will also lead to increased expenses especially related to home or family, and this will be more applicable for people who would be undergoing Jupiter's MD during October 25. The Sun in the 6th house till 17th of October will emphasize health routines, work discipline, and overcoming obstacles, influenced by its 5th house rulership. Creative problem solving in the service roles or health management is also going to be very favorable. As Sun rules over the house of creative solutions, you are going to bring these things to your workplace. At the same time, you will also face health challenges, and romance will remain subdued due to the focus being completely on your work. This kind of a scenario where Sun sits in the 6th house also includes potential for speculative gains, but its 6th house placement would mean that only those people who can manage their risk very rigorously should invest in the stock market, and you should avoid all kind of a high risk trades because 6th house emphasizes effort over luck, and one cannot deny that you need a substantial amount of luck to succeed in the speculative ventures. If you still want to invest in the stock market, October 1st to 5th is better suited from the profit booking perspective because Venus will be in Leo at that point of time and it will be aspecting the 11th house of gains. So this is a time when you will be able to book some small amount of profits, but overall speculation wise this month is not going to be very favorable. Sun's aspect to the 12th house means that it is also going to come into opposition with Saturn, which may lead to two things. One, it may lead to increased expenses. The other part is that it may lead to some kind of a spiritual introspection related to your health or to the service commitments. Sun in the sixth house supports disciplined analytical learning, particularly for competitive exams or practical subjects like science and accounting. So, if you are a student, then time from 1st to 10th of October is going to be very favorable because Mercury will also be present in Virgo and it is going to enhance the focus and clarity regarding the subjects. Study sessions during the morning hours will be ideal, especially between 6 to 8 a.m. because sun's energy is going to boost your concentration. After October 17th, sun is going to become debilitated in the sign of Libra and Mars will also be present here. So you need to avoid ego clashes with your spouse or partner, especially with Mars and Mercury present here. And overall this month is a time when you need to be extremely careful about dealing with your spouse or business partner. As I said earlier, Mercury in its own house in the sixth is going to enhance analytical skills in your work, health management related domains, or even for people who are in the business of resolving disputes. This will be a very favorable time. Mercury also rules over the third house, and Mercury supports written or verbal communication in service roles. So, people who are in the business of negotiation or where a lot of report writing is involved, this kind of a placement of Mercury is very favorable. Mercury's presence in the seventh house is going to create a challenging dynamic for spouse and business partnerships. And as I explained earlier, this is a time to be very cautious about your relationship with your spouse or business partners. Venus is going to be in the fifth house for in the beginning of the month and is going to enhance creative expression, romance in your life. As a second house ruler, Venus supports financial gains through creative ventures or family support, and you can also expect harmonious family interactions during this month. The aspect to the 11th house suggests income or social benefits through creative networks or friendship. After Venus moves to the 6th house in the debilitated sign of Virgo, since Venus rules over the second house, its movement into the house of disputes means expenses related to health or in handling disputes. Since it is also the seventh house ruler, it suggests practical efforts to maintain harmony with your spouse or partners. Plus, again, it is a negative situation as far as marriage is concerned due to the seventh house lord in the sixth house. The aspect to the 12th house will again increase expenses or may also indicate emotional withdrawals in relationship or family matters. Since Venus rules over your second house of self-earned wealth, best time finance-wise is going to be between 18th to 22nd of October. Saturn is your 10th house ruler and it is in a retrograde position in the 12th house. This will indicate delays or behind the scene work in your career and you will need to focus on the long term planning for the next couple of years. As a 11th house ruler, Saturn will limit financial or social gains with a risk of losses due to its 12th house placement. Its aspect to the second house advises caution in financial dealings in the matters related to handling of family disputes. Saturn's restrictive energy is going to create tension here. The aspect to the sixth house supports disciplined health routines or service role, but it also means that you should avoid doing any kind of a overwork or stress related matters should be avoided. The 10th aspect to the ninth house favors serious research oriented studies, or people who are interested in spirituality will also see spiritual growth, but it requires persistence and maintaining cordial relationship with your teachers and fathers, something which the Aries ascendant people will find very hard to do in the next couple of years during this transit of Saturn. Rahu transitioning through the 11th house will continue to amplify ambition for financial or social gains through unconventional network or friendships. Opportunities are going to arise, but you need to be very aware of the deceptive schemes and watch out for backstabbing from your friends and social networks, especially if you are undergoing Rahu's MD. This is a good time to evaluate the quality of your friends and many people whom you thought were your friends will not turn out to be so, and that is why it is a good time to put those friendships to test in order to reveal their real nature. If you are undergoing Ketu's MD, then Ketu in the fifth house will continue to bring detachment and will reduce emotional investment in romance or creative projects. People who are single will struggle to form lasting connections. If you are a couple already, then you should focus on the spiritual bonding. Ketu's unpredictable nature here in the fifth house is warning you not to engage yourself in the speculation market, because this Ketu will push you to take impulsive trades and in the end you will lose a lot of money. There are also certain days which you need to avoid in this month. Time from 6th to 8th of October is a time when you need to avoid taking any key decisions. October 20th to 22nd is a time when you need to look after your health, and 25th to 27th of October is a time when you need to avoid taking any mental stress. So this is how this month is going to pan out for the Aries ascendant people. Take care of yourself and I'll see you next month.